What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. That's right, today we're going to be talking about top signs that someone has done time in lockup. Alright, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. The first sign is if he wears a Raiders hat, chances are he's done a lot of freaking time in lockup. I'm just playing, man. No. He's probably just a Raiders fan, but more than likely, yeah, he's probably been locked up. But in all seriousness, man, look, there is certain things that individuals do that's been locked up that they still do when they get out of jail or prison. And some of these things I still do to this day. And number one, man, I think number one on this list, the most important sign that someone's done time in prison or jail is the way they freaking eat. They eat like a damn dog, all right? They eat fast. I remember when I used to work at the sub shop. When I first got out of prison, I worked at a sub shop called Firehouse Subs. And I used to eat free subs on a regular basis, you know, because you get free sub once a day for working at your job. And I used to have employees, they'd be like, man, you know, you eat like a damn animal. You know what I mean? I used to get my tray, put the sub on the tray, I had my arms out to the side, and I would eat like a freaking animal, fast as hell. And the way my arms were positioned, and the way I would cover up my tray and stuff, dudes used to say, like, man, yo, you eat crazy. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I guess it's just something that I took back from penitentiary. But I definitely eat my food very fast still to this day, you know? When you're in prison or jail is not so much because, you know, they give you your tray and you're sitting in there. And usually if you're eating fast in jail, it's just because you're starving. Some people like to marinate on it, but in prison, you go to a chow hall, you only have a certain amount of time. You got correctional officers with some shotguns in their freaking hand, like, hurry up, and get up out of here, you know, and you can catch a charge if you don't finish eating fast enough, or you might not be able to eat all your food in time, and you won't get the proper nutrition that you need simply because you didn't eat fast enough. So yeah, number one on the list is definitely the way someone eats, okay? Someone fresh out of prison or jail, you can definitely tell by the way they eat. They'll eat fast. They won't be too much of sloppy, but they will eat fast in the way that they have their arms positioned and stuff like that, man. It just looks like they've been in lockup. Now, number two, you can definitely tell if someone's done a lot of time by some of the household things that they do. All right, you know, when you're in lockup, a man, he doesn't have a woman to help him clean or cook or anything like that. I'm not saying that that's just what women do. God! Do not go in the comment section saying that all I'm saying is women cook and clean. That's not what I'm saying. Women are very powerful these days. They have wonderful and powerful careers. More power to the powerful women out there, but please don't take this the wrong way. In a lot of relationships, okay, it's still like the good old days. The woman cooks and the woman cleans a little more than the man. But you can definitely tell if someone's done a lot of time. If the man is folding clothes, making the bed nice and tight, if he's doing the dishes on a regular basis, if he wants to cook every day and night, chances are he's done time in lockup. For the simple fact that that's what he did for years upon years. He would have to make his bed nice and tight for inspection. He would have to fold and iron his own clothes, do his own laundry. He would have to cook for himself and make elaborate ramen noodle meals. And not only that, most individuals, when they're locked up, they're dreaming about food. Okay? They're reading recipes left and right just because they're starving. So number two, if the man cooks and cleans more than the usual, if his bed's nice and tight, if all of his stuff in the bathroom is in order and spotless and all that good stuff, chances are he's a little state struck. He's done some serious time in prison. Now just keep this in mind before I move forward, man. Not all of these are signs of being in lockup, okay? I don't want you jumping to conclusions and thinking your new boyfriend or girlfriend has been locked up simply because of what I'm saying right now. No, okay, don't think that. Sometimes people just are, you know, a little state struck without going to prison or anything. Now with that being said, let's move on to number three. And this is probably should have been number one. I still do it. And I remember my wife was like, why you keep flushing the freaking toilet? Look, in prison and jail, you got to do something called the courtesy flush, okay? A lot of y'all already know what this courtesy flush is, but I'm talking about if you got to handle your business. One thing that you do in prison and jail is you flush the toilet all the time. You constantly flush it because you do not want the odors, fumigating the cell and your cellmate smelling what you're working with. So in order to keep that smell down to a minimal, you gotta constantly flush the toilet. Even before anything even comes out, you flush that money. And I still do it to this day in my bathroom. Okay, even though it's not the same kind of toilet, I still do the courtesy flush. I'll flush it probably 3 times in one sitting, even out here in the streets. So chances are, if you hear your significant other or friend or whatever the case may be in the bathroom flushing on a regular basis, I can almost guarantee that fool has been locked up. Now, number 4. This is a tall tale sign that someone's either been locked up or gotten in trouble, got caught up in the mix with the police, whatever the case is, and he don't want to go back. Most individuals, like some of your friends, the ones that in particular have never gotten caught up doing anything wrong, they're a little reckless. Okay, they'll go to a spot, buy some freaking weed or something, and just drive with it in their pocket. No, most ex-felons, they ain't just gonna pop it in their freaking pocket. All right. If you got a homeboy and he happens, I'm not telling you to go out there and buy weed illegally, but this is just a scenario that I've done. Okay, I remember went to prison, came home, and I still was smoking weed at one point, and I went to go cop some bud, and my homeboy was in the car with me. Okay, it wasn't even much. It was only like a freaking quarter or something, eighth or a quarter. It was something small, and I drove around the corner and parked in a parking lot, some kind of shopping center parking lot. And dude was asking me what I was doing. I said, I'll be right back. Man, look, I hid my little bit of marijuana, a little tiny bit that would have been a freaking ticket if I got caught with it. But I'm on probation. I'm not trying to get caught up with it. I hid that money. I had a compartment that was outside of my car, underneath my car. I had a secret compartment outside of my car near the muffler system. All right? And, most people, they ain't never gotten in any kind of trouble. They don't care about stuff like that. They're going to pop it in their pocket and drive on home. Nah. An ex-felon is going to have stash boxes, custom-made safe spots in their car, or at least put it in their freaking trunk behind a spare wheel or something, okay? Most people that have been locked up, they are very, very cautious when it comes to buying drugs, doing anything, any kind of dirt. And the ones that have never done time, they're not cautious. They still have that mindset of where they're not going to get locked up. It ain't going to happen to them. And that's how it is, man. So number 4, you can definitely tell if someone's done time if they are hiding petty stuff. Thinking that they will get locked up for it. And chances are they will. And that's why they are so cautious of what they do. My homeboy was like, man, you hiding a freaking eighth of weed underneath the car, bro? Acting like we're trafficking or something. And hey, I ain't getting caught up with no freaking eighth of bud, dog. Sorry. It is what it is. Now, number 5. And this is pretty vital as well. Pretty vital. And you might not see it too often because most of the times when this stuff happens, you're probably not around. I told a story about this before, okay? When fights break out, you tend to just walk off. Walk away from the scene. If something bad happens, you tend to just walk away. You don't sit around for the police to show up. You don't call the police. You don't do nothing. You just get the hell out of there, okay? I remember one time I was in an apartment complex. I just got home from prison. And this couple, man, our neighbors was like these Rasta dudes. You could tell they were selling work out the apartment and stuff. They would always have random people coming in and out the house. And it was a group of them, a group of dudes that had dreadlocks and stuff. Some of them had dreadlocks down, long. There was a bunch of Rasta-looking guys. And one day, the car sped up right in front of the house, and the girl jumps out. The guy chases her down and knocks her into the flower bed outside of my apartment complex. And, they're getting into a tussle and stuff. And I'm just peeking out the blinds when really a normal individual that probably has never been locked up is going to call the cops. I didn't call the cops. I just, maybe if I saw something really crazy happen to the girl, and when I say something really crazy, I'm not talking about if he smacked her or something, because it's definitely what happened. But I'm saying, like, if he pulled a weapon out or something at her and might have been about to take her life, I probably would have called the cops. But, for the most part, I'm not going to. I'm going to look the other way. It's sad to say. And I'm glad I did, because the next freaking day, they were cool. You know, they were back to being a perfect couple and relationship. And I've talked about this in many videos, man. You know, a lot of these boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff out there that are in relationships, just because they get a little physical sometimes doesn't mean they don't love each other. You know, they might have a love-hate relationship. So, you know, the best thing to do is not even to get involved, man. You know, don't be one of those freaking captain come save a person type individuals all the time, because it might bite you in your butt. You might end up losing your life behind it, you know. Just let it go. But anyway, I mean, you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, most people that have done time, they're going to look the other way. They're not going to call the cops, and they're just going to get out of there before they even show up. And I also told another story when this maintenance dude, but me and my wife didn't know it was a maintenance dude, okay? I was outside smoking a cigarette. It was early in the morning. It was like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. The sun was just coming up. And I was smoking a cigarette, drinking some coffee, about to go work. And I saw this dude climb into an apartment across the street from the back window. So I'm like, oh, dang. I'm watching a burglary in process. I'm over here sipping my coffee, enjoying the show. And then I tell Brittany, which I probably shouldn't have told Brittany. And she's like, I'm calling the cops. I'm like, no, don't call the cops. Don't call the cops. Let's see if he comes out with the TV or something. You know what I mean? So I'm posted up watching this dude go into the house, and it turns out he was the maintenance guy. Thank God I didn't call the freaking cops. But yeah, you know, a typical person that's done some time, you know, they're not going to call the cops, man. They're just not. Now, number 6, and this kind of goes along with number 5. I remember I went to a few parties, and I've been locked up, just fresh out of prison and stuff. I went to a few parties, and my homeboys got into fights. And you know, most parties, there's always some innocent bystanders out there that's trying to break up the fight. Unless you're in the projects, you know, and they're used to this type of stuff. You know, in the suburbs, usually when there's a party going on with a little keg or something and someone gets in a fight, there's always some girls or some best friends there to break it up, okay? Now, when you've done time and you've been locked up, you don't let stuff like that happen. You're like, back up. Just let them fight it out. Just let them get a good fighting in. Everything's going to be okay. And I ain't going to lie, it was my best friend. One of my old best friends. He was fighting. And I didn't jump into it at all. I let him handle his business. Even though he lost. he lost, boy. But he was drunk as hell, so I'll give him that. But he lost, and I didn't help him out. You know, most people think, you know, just because y'all are best friends, man, look, you still gotta let them handle their own. You shouldn't jump into a fight when it's you know, fair and square one-on-one. You know, and that's just a prison mentality. If it's one-on-one, let them handle their business, whether they're your friends or not. You know, most people, if they ain't been locked up and they don't have no principles when it comes to fighting, they're gonna go in there and jump the dude. You know what I mean? Or if you're a part of some kind of gang or something. But for the most part, if you've been locked up, fights in general, you tend to react to them totally different. Now, number 7, last but not least, you can definitely tell if someone's done time if they are covered head to toe in tattoos that are slightly faded, not done really quality professional, numbers, letters, words, and crazy weird stuff that you never see the typical tattoo artist do in the shop. Okay? All of my tattoos, if you look closely, they are, I guess you could say, slightly faded, and they got a tint to it. It's not completely solid black. I don't care what you get done in prison, okay? It's either going to be with, maybe sometimes it'll be with professional ink, but for the most part, it's going to be with soot that's burnt from baby oil, Vaseline, hair grease, or plastic that's burnt, chest pieces, you know, sporks, anything that emits black smoke from it. And that stuff is not, I don't care how much you get done, it's never going to be a solid black like you would see from a professional shop. It will always have somewhat of a grayish, greenish tint to it. Not so much, but you can tell for the most part what tattoos are done in prison, okay? Simply based upon the color and the way that it ages or it fades, and, you know, the way that it's just done. You know, there's a lot of great tattoo artists in prison, but still, it doesn't compare to getting something done professionally on the streets. You know, you can always tell the needles. You can always tell because the needles in prison, I mean, they are tiny. Most of the time they're using guitar string or a lighter spring, something along those lines, and you can get really skinny, tiny lines with these tattoo machines in prison. But of course, you know, some people that don't know anything about this stuff can't really tell. For the most part, if you see someone head to toe with a bunch of crappy tattoos like me, and half the tattoos are faded and stuff, chances are, I hate to say it and I hate to judge people by their book or their cover, he's been in the penitentiary, you know. Now, if someone comes home from prison with prison tattooed across his chest like me, then probably, yeah, chances are he's probably been to prison. If he's got a tattoo of a freaking watchtower and rifles on his back arm, yeah, chances are he's probably been to the penitentiary. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video, man. You know, there's many other signs. I just can't think of them off the top of my head that you can really tell if someone's been locked up. And if there are signs, maybe you can let me know. Oh, I just thought of one right now. If you see that someone keeps reusing the towel, one thing I hate is when my wife throws the towel after I used it just once into the dirty laundry. I'm used to prison and jail towels, okay? I reuse a towel probably 3 days straight. You know, I mean, you're not really dirty because when you're done in the shower, you're just drying off. So really, the towel's not going to be dirty. I mean, you used it after you're clean. We would reuse towels in prison and jail on a regular basis. So if you see someone rehang a towel all the time after they get out the shower, chances are they probably are used to the recycling process of towels. Most people that ain't been locked up, they're going to throw that towel on the ground and not worry, you know, about that thing at all. They're going to throw in a dirty hamper and move on to the next towel. No. Most people that have been locked up, they're going to rehang that towel, whether it's over the freaking shower curtain or whatever the case is. They're going to reuse it. And they might get a little cranky if you throw it in the dirty hamper. See that? That's another one that just came to my mind. So I guess that's number 8. But anyways, like I was saying, there's many other things that you could probably, if you do know of some other things that you've seen people do when they get out of prison, you can really tell that they've been locked up. Please leave it in the comment section below. And also go check out all the links in the description of the video. Add me up on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Go check out my other gaming channel, 23-in-1 Gaming on YouTube. Go subscribe to my wife's channel, The Compound 24/7. Go buy yourself some beautiful Lockdown 23-in-1 merchandise off of Teespring. All the links are in the description of this video. And as always, I salute to every last one of you who've been supporting me since the beginning, and everyone who's just now joining the Lockdown Compound.